Hello, my name is Becky Oliver, and this is an urgent medical request. 14 years ago, my life changed forever. I was bitten by an infested rodent. How it happened, the story is so horrifying, it should be a movie. However, I want to tell a little of my story to do with doctors, how they view the word parasite. I didn't know any of this, nothing. I went to a doctor who was supposed to know, and he treated me like I had never been treated before in my life. He looked at me with disgust. He told me that the lesions on me were probably cigarette burns and I scratched myself and this or that. I said, well, how did it get on my back? And he goes, well, I guess you had somebody do that for you. And I said, what? I mean, I never, ever dealt with something like this. So he said, take your bottle of insects. He didn't call it fuzzball because it wasn't, it was organisms. And he said, take your bottle of insects and get the hell out of my office. And I said, I've never been spoke to like this by a doctor. And he said, from now on, you're going to be known as delusional parasitosis. I said, what is that? He said, look it up. So that was my first experience. I was in shock, and that would follow me for the next 14 years. I have been to many doctors, and most of them would not even examine me or do any blood work, any testing, what you have to do in order to find this stuff. I finally, after all these years, there is 3 parasites I know I have. I know I have trichinella, I know I have strongyloides, and microfilariae. I have blood work documenting that was done in 2014, documenting the trichinella, and I've got earlier documentation of the strongyloides. Had a titer count of 9.42. I was treated with albendazole a couple of times, got, the titer count down on the strongyloides, but I'm still loaded with trichinella. Every bone, joint, everything is destroyed. I have no circulation anymore. I'm deathly ill. There is no doctor that will help me here. I have been through the ringer, and I had to learn about all this on my own. One of these is so horrific that it's very rare. I do know just a little bit about it. I never got to find out the name. It was in some out-of-print medical books. I heard some discussion, and I won't even get into that right now. But it hasn't been seen at that time 31 years. So I am a laboratory, a living laboratory. If some doctor would be willing to help me, if not, I will die, and soon. There'll be some pictures come up, but I want you to notice what I look like. I have no teeth in my mouth because of the damage that's done in my mouth. I'm, you know, with delusional parasitosis, you look for certain things, as y'all well know. And the things that prove that it's not is exactly what I have. My blood work reads like a parasitic roadmap from eosinophils to all this stuff, flag, flag, flag. And I'm a medical miracle. Nobody lives that long. And now my body is giving out. I have hypothyroidism. That's another thing on the paper that said look for. The thyroid stimulating hormone is low. I have vitamin D deficiency. I have had scrapings and it comes up fungus, but nobody, I mean, my poor muscles are gone. Like I said, tissue damage, circulation, they can't pull blood anymore. I have scars and lesions from lesions everywhere, and they just open up. And I'm in so much horrible pain that it's hard to even think. But this is a plea for someone, anyone that's medical, to please save my life. It won't happen around here. I'll die. There's too many things wrong now because my thyroid's messed up. The white matter in my brain is chronic now with the T2 signal cell damage. I'm very, very sick. I need someone to rescue me, someone that cares, someone that doesn't want to see me like a dog in a puppy mill. That's exactly the way I've been treated. At least those dogs are, when they're found, believe you me, the best veterinarians. All this, get those animals, get them parasite free, then they're adopted by millionaires. You know, this is wrong. You can't go in an ER and say that word if you're sick from something that is the primary illness that's caused all this secondary stuff that I'm going to die from. You know, my stomach looks like I'm pregnant, and it's bladder and gastrointestinal. Like I said, there is no tissue left. This side has some, this side doesn't. I don't know if you can see that. My mouth is unbelievable. I will show you what I'm referring to. There's fungus on both sides, and the black and brown is the black and brown that comes out of my nose with organisms, and they come out of my orifices. And my mouth now has blisters all in it, the bones and tissue. I can't wear teeth anymore. I used to be able to wear makeup, all that. I can't do any of that. I want to see my grandchildren. I've never been able to love them. I've never been able to play with them and not be afraid to make them sick. I got to see my two oldest one time, and I couldn't grab them and kiss them and love them. I haven't had a boyfriend in 14 years because I wouldn't make anybody sick. I was still pretty then. So I've been alone. I've not been kissed, hugged, held, and I've become a recluse because I didn't want to make anyone sick.